Look at that. What does that tell you right up there? Right? That tells you that something's changed. And we're going to talk about that today. Guys, this is going to be big. This is going to be huge. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. I'm wondering if there's a delay. I'm noticing there's a delay here on my screen, but I'm not 100% sure if you guys are seeing it. I reset this camera over here, and I might have screwed the delay on this camera on this one. So let me know. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully everything's fine. Um, Wow. Welcome to the show that is Bitcoin now. It's really a Bitcoin show. And I had entered in a short, right? Because we're at a location where should have been okay to take a short, and it got run over hard. It got run over very hard. So that made me think, okay, what am I seeing here? What's different? What's changed here? And this looks familiar. You've been through this actually. Early 2013. Bitcoin went from it came up to $32, broke out of $32, and it just moved nonstop to $266. And I feel that is where we are, and effectively we might be in what's called hyper-Bitcoinization. All right, so what is that exactly? So hyper-Bitcoinization. Oh, look at that! Like the delay has gone. Is basically when Bitcoin becomes what's it called, a world reserve currency, right? And during that process, right, when it becomes a world reserve currency, it goes into a viral state, basically. And I think we're at the very beginning of this viral state, because in order for these people, the billionaires and millionaires right now at this point in time, in order to buy Bitcoin, they have to increase the price. There's just no other option, right? And I feel that they've been buying all along because the price action that we saw in the past just didn't seem realistic, right? So, for example, I'm going to show you guys, and let's talk about that for a second, and then we'll try to figure out together whether or not we're going through hyper Bitcoinization, or not, right? Now, I want your opinion. I want your feedback, right? Try not to spam the chat because I want to read what you guys got to say about hyper Bitcoinization and all that. And so let's look into the charts and see what we can find out if we're going through hyper Bitcoinization right now. Okay, let's go to the charts. Alrighty. So over here, let me just make sure that my what's it called, my studio is working properly. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, we have broken through the 1.618. I mean, blasted through it, and just like it wasn't there, right? It completely ignored it, and there was no I was looking for some sort of telltale signs for this to turn around, and I had something on a 5-minute, and it just went the other way, right? It went straight up. And even though, the 5 minutes said, yeah, okay, no. 5 and 15 minutes said, yeah, we're not going any higher. Didn't matter. It still went higher. We went above. I was shorting it at 3,000, 30,400, 500, 400, 500. And it just kept pushing through. And so this leads me to believe that, wait a second, last time you saw something like this, the last time you saw something like this was way back when Bitcoin was at $32, right? $32 is the last time we saw something like this. So let's go down to that. See if we have that on the charts here, because that was insane. All right, so let's see if we can see that here. Do you see it here? We were at $32. We broke out $32 and we just kept going up, week after week after week. Let me just see if I can zoom this in for you guys. There we go. And there were pullbacks, vicious pullbacks. But take a look where the EMA was. We never, ever got close to it, the 13 EMA, which was which I found absolutely redonkulous. Yeah, there were brutal pullbacks still, right? But again, we were not close to the 13 EMA. Right? And this is a market that's not mature, right? This is a market where there's only one exchange, right? So, yeah. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, you see how it just went like absolutely nonsensical parabolic, right? Before it actually turned around. I get that feeling that we're in that phase when it comes to the billionaires. I think the hashtag pray for the billionaires is on, man. I think that's what's on and popping here, right? It's hashtag pray for the billionaires, right? They realized at the end of the party what is here, because let's talk about what exactly is they're buying, what they're buying. When you look at your bank account, right, and you think about your dollars in bank accounts and stuff like that, you look at that, right? You you are seeing a database, right, that is only protected from changing by law. So, for example, I could hack in to your bank, right? There is a way to do so, right? I could do the research, I can find a way to get in, and I could change the number on your account. And the only thing that prevents that from happening is the law. That's it. There is nothing else. There is no special type of code that prevents people from changing the number. It's only their accounting, right? That goes, wait a second, we don't have enough accounting to cover this. This does not match the other side of the balance sheet. So something happened here. We got to find out, right? And so that's how our current financial system works, right? That's the audit. There's an audit process that takes time to figure out, hey, wait a minute, we don't balance out here. We don't balance out. And now the wealthy people realize, wait a second, Bitcoin is a self-auditing system of a balance sheet. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think they're realizing this when I realized it back here. When all these people realized it here as they started buying it up. Right? All these people started realizing it. Right? Slowly. Along here, the Winklevoss realized that. Right? And now the billionaires are realizing it. And this is what they're doing. Because they have the money. How much money do they have? Well, effectively unlimited. Effectively unlimited. Why is that? Because they have the ability to print as much as they like. They can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I need a few billion borrowed, printed up for me. Right? Borrowed, printed, same shit. Can you do that for me? And yeah, and that's it. They print it up, and there you go. There it is. It's all yours. Right? So we might see something like this. Right? We might see something. Look at this. Look at this nonsense. Some sort of nonsense like that. Going into the future. Right? And we're far away from that. We're just beginning. Right? We might be in the cusp. I'm just saying, it's a low probability, right? That's what's going to happen, but it's still possible because of the way our monetary system is designed. This is possible because of the way our monetary system is designed. It's very possible for these guys to do this. And don't be surprised if it ends up like this. Don't be shocked, right? I get that feeling, right? And then what other evidence do we have to say, hey, you know what? What evidence do we have that this is like this? Well, if we take a look at what happened in the past, right? A lot of things happened, right, in our last in this current bear cycle that we were like shock and awe. I want to say that, right? That shocked a lot of us, right? Even me, a lot, even some of the best traders out there, they shocked them, and so, for example, like, do you think that anyone thought right here that Bitcoin was going to go on a run to $14,000. Right? Straight run to 14,000. I can't think of anybody except maybe Carl from the Moon who did not bother mentioning it, right? When he saw that here, down here. He was like, yeah, it's possible. It looks like we were going to go for a run here to 14,000, but it's too ridiculous to even mention. And yet we did, right? I believe that the billionaires figured this out right here. They figured this out. And they started like slowly cost averaging in. And then they caused this run to go because the supply just dried up and then, you know, they stopped buying, of course, right? And then once they stopped buying, obviously, this is what happened. And then they probably some of them started coming in and buying again once this started rolling it out. But yeah, I really think that this run right here, which is ridiculous, right, with no 40% pullbacks, right, is an indication that we are on a hyper-Bitcoinization run here. Effectively, hyperinflation for Bitcoin. Well, I wouldn't call it hyperinflation because it's going the opposite direction. So what would that be called? Hyperdeflation. That would be called hyperdeflation. Really. We are on the run of a hyper-deflationary run with Bitcoin at this point. Well, there's going to still, remember in the previous chart in which I should keep that, I should keep a copy of that up and running. I will do that actually next time. Remember in that other chart when we were going back, right? We saw weekly pullbacks that came all the way back to the previous candle. So be careful, right? Don't say, oh, well, then I'll just, look for W's on the 5-minute and go along every single time. That's fine. That works. But you have to do it this way, right? You have to do it smartly. Don't do it dumb. Do it smart, right? You want to do that, right? Again, that's fine, right? Right? You look for the W's on the 5-minute, right? Right now, it's probably is running too much that you probably have to even look for them on the 1 minute. Wow, ridiculous. Oh my God. It's running so fast that you have to probably go down to the 1 minute to find any kind of W's, right? It's just ridiculous. Yeah, that's right. And then if you're going to do that, that's fine. And you go to the breakout level right here. It's all good and dandy. But, it's all fun and game until somebody loses an eye, right? So, what you could do, right, is again, once it breaks out, you take a long, right, stop loss right down here, right, yeah, the target is of course, let's see here, let's make this right here. The target is, right, there you go. See, right, 1-to-1 basically on the W. Every single time you do that, and that's how you could probably trade this insane parabolic market going a lot higher daily, and minute by minute, hour by hour. Now, keep in mind at any point in time, right? There's gonna be because you could say, well, wait a second, the industry players, they're not that dumb. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna dump a bunch of Bitcoin on them. But there's gonna be people in the industries that just buy this thing because they see it going up. They see this. They see these non-stop W's these non-stop W's, these non-stop patterns that just go, oh, okay, well, I'll just trade that pattern and go. Trade that pattern and go, right? And they don't care about the asset itself, right? And because they don't care about the asset themselves, right? You have to be careful. You have to concern yourself with them dumping on you, right? They will. That's what's going to happen. There will be a point in time, probably not now, but there will be a point in time when they have to dump those traders, the people who are just trading in and out of Bitcoin and trying to make a few bucks here and there, um, because they don't see the asset value, they don't see that it's the world reserve currency in the future. They only see, hey, you know what? I'm going to get more dollars, so that's what I'm going to do from this asset. And as the price continues like this, there's going to be more people just coming in for that. Just accept it. Alrighty. So with that said, I want to know, what do you guys think? What do you think? Is Bitcoin in a hyper Bitcoinization mode right now? Have I provided enough evidence to say that there could be a likely possibility that this is hyper Bitcoinization? I want to know from you guys. What is it? Is that the case? All right, so let's head over to your chat and see what's going on. Ooh, rolling really fast. Okay, let's see here. Let me pop this chat out. Okay. Oops. Now I lost it. There we go. Oh man, there's like, how many people are here in this chat? Whoa! What? What? There's 4,300 people in the wonder. This, like, I got this on slow mo, and I'm like, why is it so fast? Why are you guys chatting so fast? Yes, you believe we're in hyper Bitcoinization. I think I do think I've provided enough evidence, right, to say that this is the year of hyper Bitcoinization. Really, it shouldn't be called hyper Bitcoinization, but I guess that's what they called it, and yeah, it seems to make sense, right? This is the viral year for Bitcoin because obviously there's lots of onboarding ramps. There's lots of abilities for you to purchase Bitcoin. It's no longer considered a dark web asset. And so, because it can't be stopped by any government, right? This might be the cusp of, hey, you know what? This is it. This is the game, all right? This is Bitcoin at its best, right? Let's talk about. Let me just move this a little bit out of the way here. I want to like have you guys on this side, right? And so that I can see your chats, right? And then I'm gonna move this because I'm having fun here, and I want to. So, if you're interested in trading this, right? That's fine. Let's see here. Let's see if I can move this. Wow. That's a new all-time record for me, man. Thank you very much. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I will answer more questions. Just like, I mean, with 5,000 people there, I should have like at least 50% likes, man. If you're really here to learn whether or not we're in hyper Bitcoinization, right? Then hit the like button, at least for me, right? All right. Thank you. I really appreciate that. All right. So, let me just show you guys. If you go to the description, right? Remember, 50%. Just do me a favor, man. First, if you're in this video, right? You're gonna head down, right? And right. Oops. There's a chat. You're gonna scroll down past the chat. You're gonna hit the like button, right? You're gonna hit the share button to share it with people. Share. I want you guys to tweet this out. Everybody, tweet it out, right? Hyper Bitcoinization. And now let's talk about that, right? Hyperbitcoinization has been defined as a state where Bitcoin becomes a world dominant form of money. But what actually needs to happen for Bitcoin to go is for Bitcoin to go viral. As it turns out, a hyperbitcoinization event may be more likely than many suspect, especially in the current economic climate. Yeah, there you go. I mean, what's the current economic climate, right? It's that we can hit the government can hit the print press and give people money, and there's no problem. There's no inflation. So I'm not saying right now what's changed is the hyperinflation, right? The dollar is going through hyperinflation. No, that's not happening. No, I think that what's happening is Bitcoin is going through deflation, hyper deflation right now as we speak, right? Because it just doesn't make any sense for once once you become like a Saylor, right? Or Carlos Slim, right? Who's holding a large portion of Bitcoins and seeing, yeah, this is my best asset, and you understand that. Wait a second, I have an asset, right? That is basically like my bank account, but when I go to spend, no government could go. I don't have to think about, well, am I going to upset this government if I go and spend it here? And they're going to come to me and are they going to press a button and stop me from doing this? Moving this money from here to there so that I can do what I need to do in order to do my business, right? No. Oh, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, it is. So, a lot of things can be done from a billionaire's perspective that he can't do before. Oh my God! So, wow, yeah. I think a lot of them are catching on to that. I think that's what we're seeing here. They're catching on to that real fast, right? And so that's why I got blown out of my shorts here. And that's why we're going to see this thing continue to pump every week for quite some time. Probably all the way. I would say let's do some TA on this to see where we can possibly see this thing pump to nonstop, right? This is TA generally goes out the window in an event like this, right? Whether it's hyperinflation or hyperdeflation. So don't accept it as law here. So it's the best. All it is the best guess based on historical events, right? So historically, what happens is when an asset tends to explode higher, it does like 4x, right, from the 4x on the extension level. So we're talking about $68,000 level here, is where we would probably stop at, right? This is a probability, not a guarantee, and when we're talking about Hyperbitcoinization, it's about the rationality of human beings, and thus, effectively, this numbers are not going to be relevant, right? So that's the best I can get you. Let's just use it from the perspective of what Bitcoin did from its bottom to its top, right? When it went from $200, from $2 to $2.66. So that would be a 100. Let's just say 100x from the bottom. Let's just give it like just to make it like it's more than that, of course, right? It's 160. What about 100? Yeah, it's 100, 115, 100 and some odd x. You know what? I'm not going to do the math on it, but let's just do a round number, so just for our sake, right? So 100x from the bottom to the top, right? Because this is not going to be exact, anyways. No matter what, there's going to be any kind of number for you to know where this thing will top out at this point in time because of the unprecedented nature of this asset. And because of that, right, so we have to just come up with, best guesses, right? Best guesses. So 100x from the bottom to the top is like 300 and 325,000. So, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Sounds reasonable. 300 from here straight. I mean, like it's just a straight shot. I think we're gonna have a straight shot right up to $325,000 before we see a correction. And I think this correction that we see, will only be a temporary pause for a bigger move. Think about that for a second. I want you to get that. I want you to get that that in your head. I want you to clarify something, right? Because this cycle will be the beginning of people actually coming in, right? So there will be a movement as it moves. There's going to be a lot of people who just don't bother to buy, right? They go, okay, wait a second. They look at the price and go, no, man, I can't do this. I can't. It's just too high, right? It's just ridiculous, and that's okay, right? They'll come in afterwards when the drops, when they see a big drop, right? And they're waiting for that. They're going to be waiting for that for a while. And they'll be buying it probably about, anywhere between 50,000 to 150,000. Somewhere in between there is where we'll probably see a massive pullback to, and it'll be very violent and very brutal. Especially since if we go straight to the 266 to the 325,000 level. Now keep in mind that's just a number coming out of my butt. It's not the actual. It may not be the actual real top. It could be 400,000, 500,000. I don't know. But at this point, right? I remember people in the past, right? I remember back in the day when I saw Bitcoin just nonstop going up like this. People went in and said, okay, I got to short this thing. There's no way to short it, but if I could, I'd short it. And now I can short it, and look what it did. I didn't lose a whole lot, but it just blew through my short, right? Like it wasn't there. And it shouldn't have. It shouldn't. That 1.618 should have been a clear stopping point for Bitcoin, but it's not. It is only the beginning. And we're going to see large movements of the Bitcoin price action. So, yeah, I think it's time to go all in. I think, when I say all in, I mean like, hey, don't go and take, let's just say you've got 10K today, right now. Oh, man, I missed this. I gotta get in. Don't do that. Don't go all in right here. Take $1,000, right? I would pyramid it up. I would slide it up on a sliding scale. Right? Instead of doing splitting up into what's it called? 10 different parts. Like let's just say let's split it up into $1,000 each. 10 parts of $1,000 each for your $10,000. I'd go with the smaller number first. I'd start off with $500, right, and then increase it by $250 every week, right? Increase and then add in every week. Put in like for example, so the first week for today $500, right? Next week to $750. Next week what's it called? 1,000. Next week 1,250 until you run out of money, and do it that way. Instead of like the reason why is because if I'm right, of course, right, and keep in mind, although it's possible, right, the probabilities are lower that this is what's happening, but it sure looks like it. Right? I mean, it doesn't. Even though the probability of this going through hyperbitcoinization is probably low, It certainly looks like it. And besides, even if you do, even if I am wrong, I'm not wrong in the long term. I'm not wrong in the long term. So make sure you have a seat on this rocket ship. It doesn't matter if you bought this at third. Even if you did went all in here, the only thing I would ask that you did do, right, is just ride out the friggin' what's it called, the waves. Let's just say on Monday we have a bloody day, right? You went all in at $31,000, and we have a bloody day. We come all the way down to 23,000, maybe even 21,000, or even visit to 20,000. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Next year, you will see 300,000. Doesn't matter. You'll just let it go. Just let it go. Right? Whatever you do, don't let go of those bitcoins to the billionaires. Let them pray for your bitcoins. Let them pray for them. Right? Hashtag pray for the billionaires. Right? Because they're not going to get your bitcoins if you hold on to them. The only way you can get your bitcoin is if you sell them to them. Right? So whatever you do, right? Whether you take my DCA advice or you don't, and you go all in, just hold your bitcoins. All right, let's take a look at the numbers on the stream. Right? Wow, 5,000 people. My God, my God. Congrats! Oh wow, I'm in shock and awe, shock and awe. Right? Shock and awe. Thank you very much. Right? Let me see if there's any questions here. How is ETH looking? Let's take a look at Ethereum, right? Because we might as well look. Yeah, Ethereum, right? Just it's really messing with people's head. I was looking at the price action. I'm like, why is it looking like? Right? I was telling you guys, right? I remember yesterday. I mean, I don't know if what show did I do? I didn't do a show yesterday. But remember, I don't know, a couple shows back, I was telling you guys, like, wait a second here, right? We draw this fib, and it's like, oh, okay, you know the 61 plate, it's coming back here, right? It's coming back here. It's bastards. And then it lined this rest up, and I'm like, okay, so then it's the target's probably, and it's emming down, doesn't look really good, it's horrible, it's nasty, right? I wouldn't trust this thing with a 10-foot pole. I think the targets are down here. Look to buy down here, but only if you like hunt longs, right? Or, because we're still in the trends your friend, so you might as well hunt longs. And nope, all of a sudden, right? Out of nowhere, no M, no nothing, no what's it called? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you a little bit of a heads up here, and we're gonna take this off or take off. I mean, you could call this kind of a little crappy M, but come on, man, come on. Oh man, I mean not M, but W. Sorry. All these things were ebbing out, right? It was like there was more M's than W's here on Ethereum, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I'm going. What? Like out of the blue. Oh man, I don't know what to do with you, Ethereum. I swear to God, I just every time I try to trade you, you do this nonsense. And I was thinking, right? Maybe you should have taken a. I was like, I got stopped out of my longs because I raised my stops up, right, to 722, and it broke down, or 727 broke down, and I was like, fine, I made some money, and I was thinking maybe you should reestablish here, and I'm like, yeah, I should probably, and then yeah, but the thing is, right, everything was like indicating that there's no no upward momentum. Right? And so I couldn't reestablish down here without seeing some sort of like upward momentum change. And yeah, now it's here. So you just have to accept what you see now. And what do we do now? Well, W's, right? You want to continue on this trade? You want to follow this trade? You can do. There is a continuation trade. Actually, I do have a continuation trade pattern actually that kind of works here on what's it called? Trending markets. 38.2 buy, right? Stop 61.8 and go, right? 2 to 1. So I think we're kind of late. We're late to that party actually. But it's not. Oops, sorry, that's a short. But there's another way we can trade that though, right? If you're willing to sit at your freaking computer though, right? That's the thing. You can trade this. There's another way to trade this, but you have to sit at your computer. Right, 2 to 1. Right, and then this beauty of this, right? You know, yeah. So if it's just a psych kind of deal and it comes back at you, you're probably gonna get out here, or you can take out 50% or something like that. You're going to get paid on this, most likely, especially in a trending market. Let me just clear out, make this thing a little bit bigger for you guys. Especially on a trending market, you can see that that's now. This is where this would be a nice trade. Now it's too late for this, right? I'm like a little too late, too little, too late, right? So what do we do now, right? Well, we have to wait for this price action to give us more. We could either go down to the 5-minute and wait for a W, right? A little bit dangerous, right? Because it's early in a pump cycle. We can wait for a W, which we'll have to wait quite a bit of time. Another option, right, is that we wait for it to pump a little bit and then roll over and do a Fibonacci level. Again, you're gonna have to sit at your computer, and I'm talking like Fibonacci level, and then we come and hit the Hail Mary at 78.6. So it pumps, comes back, and then oops, and then it does it kind of like what it's doing. What it does is a W into the, and then you get a position of strength. Your stop loss is down here, and there you go, boom, right? Nice and easy, right? But you have to wait because we're so far away from that, right? We are so far away from seeing that happen. There's nothing you can do. You just have to wait because this whole price action might just invalidate everything that I'm talking about. So we have to wait for that price action to occur. Alrighty. Thank you all for liking. Wow, we're still at 5,000 viewers. What the heck? Thank you. Wow. Oh man, can you guys like hit a like there? Hit subscribe for me, please. I really appreciate it. Wow, that's incredible. 0.12 Bitcoin is enough? Yes, it is. Just save it, man. Wait 15 years. You'll see how much enough is. Just wait 15 years. It's going to be more than enough. Right? Because think about it, right? Not every millionaire, right? How many millionaires are there? Let's see that. Let's just find out how many millionaires there are. Right? You know what? I'm gonna leave this up here because I like this. Forget my spelling. The number of millionaires, right? 11 million millionaire households. Okay, so that's 11 million, probably in the United States, in the world. How about in the world? In the U.S. $46.8 million. Do you think there's enough Bitcoin for each one of those people? No. There is not. So if you could snag yourself one or even point one, right? So we'd have to to get every one of those millionaires fed, right? We need everyone would not have. There isn't enough for like 0.5 of a Bitcoin if they were all available. That's if they were all available, right? And so, yeah, you can see the conundrum, right? Yeah, there's going to be a need, right, for them to get your Bitcoin, your 0.1 Bitcoin, and get it all. They're coming for it, right? They understand what's going to happen, and you know what? Unfortunately, right? If I am correct on my assumption here, and this chart here actually indicates something, especially if we close above this line here, that's a big indicator of this case, right? And we continue pumping, we bounce off this line and continue pumping. Yeah, my case might be valid here. Hyperbitcoinization might be valid here. Okay, so if that's also the case, I have to point something out to everyone, including myself, right? Because there is a scary case that um, that now that we're in the hyperbitcoinization, what happens to altcoins? No, no, no. The reason why I'm silent because that's a scary, scary thought. How do I get rid of this? Okay, there we go. Yeah, we are going to break into the 90% territory. We're just gonna forget all this and just head straight to 90% territory, right? The altcoins are just gonna be absolutely, absolutely, completely devastated if we go through hyper Bitcoinization right now. There's no chance for them. Absolutely against Bitcoin, not a chance. Not a chance. Maybe on the second round, right? After we go up, correct, right, at the 266 and come back down, that's when they'll get their chance. But that's about it. All right, there's be zero, zero, zero chance for them. Yeah, kind of scary, kind of scary. So that means no altcoin season. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. That means no altcoin season coming February, March. Yeah. I'm nervous because I've bet heavily on that. That the altcoin season's coming. That's why I'm like, whoa. Whoa. I'm in a kind of like a beside myself feeling right now. Yeah, I'm really beside myself. Yeah, yeah. So, oh, I'm gonna. On that sad note, I'm going to have to end the stream. Uh, I need to contemplate what my next move is, especially since I have to consider the fact that this is coming. This is coming to fruition, and I hate selling up, selling down markets. Just hate it. You can see it. Like, look at this. It's like people are dumping into Bitcoin on a massive rate. You can see it right now, just nonstop. And you can BitConnect all you want. It's going there, and it's not stopping. Right? Oh man, unbelievable, unbelievable. So before we close the show, right? Um, what's Bitcoin doing? Are we on the 5 minute? Yeah, we're on the 5 minute. Hunt for well, no, that's the Ethereum chart. On the 1 minute, there you go. Another W right now, giving you a chance. We have to obviously have to wait for it to break here, break the lucid czar, and then you could probably take it. Um, lucid czar is the plus signs there. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of scary. It looks like they're setting up for a trap. Be careful with that one on the 1 minute. Then they'll trap you a lot on the 1 minute. That's why I don't trust it. Yeah, it's probably a trap. So, anyways, I would wait for for a little bit safer trade. I'd wait for the 5 minute to give you an indicator um, on whether or not to take another long on this thing. Oh boy, oh boy, unbelievable. Thank you all for watching. Right? Thank you for like all 5,000 of you coming into this stream. Really appreciate it. I can't believe how many people are watching this. This is exciting times. It's unbelievable times, and we are only. This is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Thanks for watching, and remember, Bitcoin is real. Bitcoin's here to stay. You need to be a part of it. Cheers. Okay, what are you guys still doing here? Go away. Go home.